Hello. Welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph.
And I'm Elle.
I'm Nathan.
And this episode, we're straying from the path a little bit. Yeah, that part. I don't get a background. So if you see my actual real life in the background, mind your business. And no, you didn't.
Same. Yeah.
So
great background.
yeah, rub it in. Rub it in. Rub it in, Elle.
Make it ass. Woo!
Anywho's,
Metallica.
we've been
That's true. It is
we've been
Metallica.
switching things up a little bit in season 3, right? New season, who dis? So why not throw in a little Interview with a Vampire, right? Not the movie, not the movie. We did a whole episode talking about Anne Rice and how much we love her, and I think that's so funny that we both love the Vampire Chronicles so much. Like, I think it's a little bit ridiculous, but uh obviously we bonded over it a lot. And I talked about it on our TikTok channel, and I'm like, the instant this is available, we're going to talk about it. That was a lie because it became available while we were very, very busy doing 31 Days of Horror. But now that has settled down, and now we're going to talk about it. I've only watched the first episode, and that's all we're going to discuss here today. Well, probably not the only thing, but the only thing. Okay. All right. Okay. There's a lot to unpack in one episode. And this is why I was so excited when they announced that they were doing the TV series, because I'm like, yes. They need to do a series because there's just too much to put. Obviously, nobody could handle making movies and doing things the right way. If they weren't chopping the shit up and making it almost fan fiction, they're putting Tom Cruise in it. Both of these are stupid. Yikes. Stupid choices. Respectfully.
Disrespectfully on my part. I want you to know that the Tom Cruise choice is disrespectfully shitty.
Okay.
Oddly.
Yo, yeah.
Hot.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. He was in that rock opera.
No.
Exactly.
Imagine they had kept the Tom Cruise choice for Queen of the Damned instead of Stuart Townsend.
No.
I cannot. Because I have such a terrible memory, I'm going to talk about it now. Casting choices, first of all, for this TV series. The man 100%. Who plays Lestat, what's his name? Sam Reed?
Yeah.
Sam Reed. Like, okay.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed, like when they do the first like reveal of Lestat in the episode, he's got his fucking mouth open. And I immediately heard your voice in my head talking about Tom Cruise. And why is his mouth always fucking open?
Well, Tom Cruise looked like fucking Nick Cage in Vampire's Kiss. That's not what happened here. Okay.
No, you're right. It was like hot. Sorry, Nate Dogg. It was like I'm gonna say the word hot probably 2,700 million thousand times during this episode, because I'm actually still a little sweaty because I rewatched it, and he's like, first of all, the vampire eyes. Before we even talk about plot, the vampire eyes, like, I know it was like a big deal when you're thinking about Lestat, like, oh, he has violet eyes and his glass nails, and it's not really like that, but I love what they do with the eyes here, because Lestat, and I guess it's all vampires. I can't wait to see the other vampires, but because when Louis gets turned, his eyes are the exact same color, and I think it's so pretty.
They put a lot
And
of detail in here, though.
the glass nails.
I was gonna say the nails are there. Lestat has this passive moment where he's like, um, I'm gonna buy another round for everyone, but also the musicians because they're always overlooked, which is a nod to his love for Nikki, who is not in any other thing, any other movie. That's just in the book, which I thought was awesome. I love that. I caught that and I was just like, "Aw."
Same. He
Fangirl
talks
detail.
about, yeah, he talks about the young violinist at another point in it in the episode. I'm like, this is just episode 1. This is just the first
Yeah.
episode. Okay. So okay, I just get too excited. I can't even like keep my thoughts rational at this point. Everything that we have to everything that we talk about, we have to consider the fact that Anne Rice was heavily involved in this show before she passed. So like she approves. And then of course her son is gonna, honor her creative intentions for this series as they go on past whatever it was. I would love to know how far she got, like how far they got with her in planning this TV series. But obviously they made a really, I feel like, wise choice to bring it into the modern era and change some things. So like the interviewer, I thought that was such a nice touch. They attempted to do this interview in the past and something happens, and so Louis comes back and basically tells him, hey, you're old as shit now, let's finish this interview.
Yeah, they totally changed up Daniel's character, and I think that was a choice, like a very calculated choice. And I don't know how this is going to play out, but I have a feeling they're going to be merging Daniel with David from the Talamasca.
Okay, but I don't want that to be a thing because I love David. David is an important character. Like he really grows to be an important character in the series.
He does, but I feel like the shifting, because like in the book, Daniel is a young man when he's turned. And the conversation they were having about, oh, you're an old man, oh, you're getting sick, oh, your time is running out. That he had that same conversation in the book with David.
Yeah.
And then we all know what happened. David switched bodies and was in a young body when he got turned, and so maybe they'll make that choice here too. I don't know.
That actually sounds very valid, because it keeps coming up, like how fucking old he is.
Yeah, you have Parkinson's, bitch, you old motherfucker.
So that was a good change. And then the other glaringly obvious change, which I was waiting to see. I needed you to watch it because I was just waiting to see how you would, because I know that you love Louis. Like you love old Louis' emo ass. And new Louis, he's pretty emo, but he's like
he's a boss bitch first and foremost, then he's emo.
period.
That's the difference.
And rightfully so, like some like really fucked up shit happens to him. So he's black, right? He's black, and that's important because he's black and the time period. And old Louis was a plantation owner, and you're like, all right, how are we gonna, they do such wonderful storytelling. And the thing that I have to gush over is that Anne Rice is a wonderful writer, but above all else, she's a historian. Like New Orleans is her fucking city. Like she knows her history, you know what I mean? And she has this like really like vibrant way of bringing it to life. And so in this new Louis, his story, his father, like the way they got their money was through sugarcane, but when his father passed away, like that was ruined, so he had to like step in and figure out how to keep his family afloat. And he's like a pimp, and it's phenomenal. He's a pimp.
I think that's a very interesting choice too. I feel like the old Louis was like such a he just like everything was done to him. He didn't have a lot of agency. And even though he like owned this plantation, he had like no interest in the business really, and he was very kind of like, I don't care, my family's gone, burn it down. And they did a good job story building around this new storyline, which brought it from like it would have been pre-Civil War time with the original one to like the 20s. And they did a very compelling story with a character that had about the same stakes. I mean, he lost his brother, his mom and his sister are kind of isolated from him at that point. You know, he's kind of in a precarious position in society because of where he stands, and like he can't really stand up for himself. And so he has a lot of the same social isolation as the other Louis. It's just a completely different and wonderful turn on it. And I feel like the storytelling that they did such a good job. Like, I'm not used to that somebody doing such a good fucking job with it.
Especially with something that like we love so much. And like this love was built from like young us, like little us to being adults. And we've had a lot to say about the way that they have tried to bring these stories to life. And this is like I keep saying, this is just the first episode. And like I really felt for Louis. Like his brother Paul is such like a wild character because he's like why can't I speak English today? He's like a conscious personified because he's echoing like, oh, you're sinning, like sins need to be repented on. And Louis has all of these private thoughts because you know Lestat comes in and he's pushing up on your boy. Okay. And so like being gay in general is a no at this time. Being gay and black is a super no. And then it's an interracial gay bonanza.
Totally a bonanza. I would say that's the correct word for that.
Okay.
I mean, what else? I think Nathan and I have had a couple conversations, and I think that now might be the time to bring those to the surface. First of all, let's talk about the physics of that threesome scene. Okay? The vampire's floating, but he's not a vampire. But is he penetrating his food while he's doing that?
No, he's not, because they don't do that. Sure? It's probably grazing the crack.
I mean, the thing about it is I thought that those vampires didn't fuck, right?
They don't.
But he was going to see Miss Lily, and he was like, well, how come you're not banging her? As if he was banging her. So did we change the lore and now they fuck?
I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because
well, then why was he worried about being a homo if he wasn't getting, you see what I'm saying?
No, you're talking about Louis?
Louis has like this big thing of his conscience because he's like,
they were naked together and they were kissing. It doesn't have to be.
Who gives a shit?
But you're okay. No, this is from a 2022 a woman's perspective. Okay, you need to shift a little bit. Even holding hands was gay as fuck. Didn't you hear Paul on the roof? He said you should marry Hazel, and he's like, "Who the fuck is that? The girl you were dancing too close with? If you're dancing too close, you should be married." So imagine they didn't just kiss; they kissed. And their booty butt naked, floating in the air, and that was sucking on his neck.
I just want to believe he's fucking his sandwich. I have to have that as.
You and I both know he didn't fuck the sandwich. He just put his dick up against it and floated around with it.
He used it for stability. It was a stability tool.
There you go. There you go. Okay, but the threesome scene was so good. Like, And it wasn't like a threesome. Like it wasn't like overly graphic
No,
or
it
anything
was
like
pretty
that.
artsy.
It was very like before they started floating and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I I was like obsessed with the way that Miss Lily was walking around with her titties out and just like I'm living my best life right now. This is I mean, she probably had never been in a position like that before. They were literally like she's really pretty and everything, but they were like shitty circumstances, no pun intended, because that lady,
That's
you
the
know,
other thing I think Nathan had took a liking to. He put it in my shit box. That was a great
Had
scene.
to check his dick.
So
yeah.
I watched that scene again, and what she said is she put a little of her catfish dinner on it, which at first I thought was like a queef
She
joke or
squirted
something.
it.
But
Yeah.
but when she's but you wouldn't see that though. Like really like discharge, you wouldn't see that. She
No.
shit. She's
Yeah.
talking about shitting
Yeah.
on his dick.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
had a conversation last night because we didn't catch that line and we're like, what? It was there shit on it? Like, is there shit
Oh
every
yeah,
time?
and then she like they were looking like she
Yep.
was like you know they were assessing the situation and there was obviously an odor. So like that's not fucking glamorous at
Nope.
all. And then you got Miss Lily with her titties out like in between like sitting I'm sure being in the presence of Lestat is like terrifying and wonderful at the same time. Like the hairs on the back of your neck are probably standing up because he's an apex predator. Just because he's fucking pretty doesn't mean you can't sense that. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a thing
I think you just be like,
in the
eat me,
books.
daddy. I don't care.
I mean, probably, yeah, but she was, and she was getting paid for it. So she was like, this is the time of my life. And
Exactly.
then they put her to sleep and then they look at each other like they're gonna like literally eat each other alive and then they start smooching
Mm-hmm.
and when Lestat bites Louis's neck they're floating and then okay it's really funny because when they do the camera pan there's just like really hairy legs floating off the floor next to each other
The butts, though.
and then the butt cheeks the butts were good.
Mm-hmm.
The butts were good. That's what is that the highlight of this episode?
Like the Tina Belcher highlight there.
I mean, butts. Can we insert a rainbow here, please? I was Tina for Halloween.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this did a lot better like job at getting to the core of like the vampires and their companions than any other movie did before because it
and
felt
it's
like
only one episode.
Yeah, because it felt like everyone else is like afraid of like showing them as gay. Who gives a shit? Like it's just love.
Yeah.
I don't even think the vampires aren't gay. They love who they love. They don't give a shit what your gender is. So
it's very pansexual and
mm-hmm.
and they're not looking to bone. They're looking to create this like ethereal like love experience because they feel these things on a deeper level than humans do and they're very dramatic and emotional creatures. They literally are the most dramatic I think
I'm sorry,
of all.
Steph. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. But Nathan just DM'd me something.
What?
Where did you find this?
What is it?
The reviews, like half the reviews are like that.
Okay.
What? Please.
This is by a genius named Frank Hirsch, which I'm sure I can just I feel like he probably looks like the Lord of Patriarchy off of YouTube. That's what I'm imagining saying this as I'm reading it. The series is a far cry from the movie. First by destroying the timeline, and then changing the character's race and sexual orientation.
Oh,
trying
fuck off.
Narrative to fit today's political left-wing agenda is a rotten mess. Every movie now has to be racial. If that's the case, being Native American, why aren't there Native or Asian American portrayed in it to be fair instead of God fucking use grammar? Black and white people. All this is plain bloody gore with no real substance. That bitch didn't read the book. I can tell you that.
Absolutely, they didn't read the book because the entire series is fucking gay as shit.
Yeah.
The whole series is so super gay. And that is why I was so excited about this, because I was like, oh my God, it's actually so gay. This is what we want. This is what the fans want. They want the gay. Who are you? I can't believe there are so many. I can't.
You are not really you're not a fan of Anne Rice's books, if that's your opinion on any of this. I'm sorry, because
literally,
and it's like, get the fuck out. You're gonna, and if you're not a reader, you're not someone who's read her books. What are you basing that on? Like
what are you doing here?
What, the original, the OG movie with fucking miniature Lestat that's not really even like anything like the actual character.
I guarantee you that's what they think is the original subject matter. It's not.
Up yours, woke moralists. That's what it feels like.
Okay.
That's like half of the reviews are like, this is gay.
I literally want to fist fight line up. I want to fist fight you on the street. Read the books, people.
I beg of you, read the books and then read the Mayfair Chronicles and come back to me and talk to me about like your morals and how they've been breached. After you...
they're gonna read all of that and they're gonna be like, I need to take a really long nap.
And their pee-pee is gonna go up inside their body and not come back out.
No, literally. Like literally. I can't.
You can't play this game with us, brother.
No. This is not what Anne Rice would have wanted. Like, it's so annoying to me. Okay. Besides it being incredibly gay, as it should be.
Yeah.
As it should be. The things that I like the most is that literally episode 1, you can see so many things that these movies failed to capture. Like exactly who Lestat is, his essence, you see right away. So the fact that he's, you know, whispering like, I love you, Louis, I love you, Louis, but he is literally going behind Louis's back and antagonizing Paul in his mind. And he killed Miss Lily, and he's doing all of this like brat shit to try and get what he wants, and he really fucks with Louis's life. And I love that they spend this entire episode showing that, because it was just like a little blip in the movie, but what he does serious damage to Louis.
He's like willing to destroy you if he wants you. If that means that that's how he's gonna get you, he's willing to destroy you. And he does it to more than one person in the book series as well.
Yes, and then he will gaslight the fuck out of you. Because that's who he is. And I think my favorite scene, and I didn't watch it with the same eyes the first time I watched it as I did the second, was the end scene in the church where he, like, Louis was desperate. He was desperate. He was sad. He lost his brother. He knew that Lestat had played a hand in it. His mom was totally blaming him, which like really hurts me. Like it really hurts my feelings for him, because like he busted his ass to keep the family afloat just for her to turn around and be like your son was disturbed. He was in an institution at one point. They talk about it. So like you can't put the blame on Louis, and yet here she is. And like Lestat just really like comes after him. He's in the church, hysterical. Like, this is my last outlet. Father, help me. He's literally like, I fucked the devil, and now the devil has roots in me. And Lestat's like, well, I'm gonna burn the church down, and I'm gonna kill the priest. And now, like, you have no choices here. And he's just like ripping him apart. Like, he ripped this priest apart and then punched a hole through the other priest's face, which I fucking loved.
Yeah.
That was gruesome.
That was good.
It was so good, because like he's not just pretty and eloquent and like charming, he's dangerous and he's mean, and like, yes, we love him regardless, because he is such a like a nuanced, layered character, but he's mean. He's so
He's
mean.
a terrible person, yes.
Then he sits with Louis and literally strokes every single insecurity he has until he says, "Yes, I will be with you."
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Yep. He's a manipulative bitch.
Yeah, he is.
I kind of noticed there was a lot of class commentary in this,
Mm,
not just like the race commentary, which is also like plays. You can see where it intersects because you can see that Louis has this class solidarity even at the detriment of his own self. But the thing of
mm-hmm,
it is he was in a position where he was so marginalized that even if he would have done something, it would have just destroyed him. It would have made no good come
mm-hmm.
out of it. And I think that's what Lestat was really like when he was talking in his little like psychic voice. He was it was
Yeah.
like this weird like class commentary in this very weird situation where he was like, they don't respect you, right? You're not one of them, you know?
He just does this so well. He
Mm-hmm.
really is a predator of every kind. Like he really can get you. Like the one who made him really had no idea what the fuck they were doing making this bitch. Like
Yes. And I can't wait to see where that goes. I want to see what decisions they make about that because there were things
yeah.
that were made in other movies that pissed me off because I don't think
Oh,
they were done
was it like
elegantly.
saying that Marius made Lestat because that's wrong.
It's
That's
wrong.
wrong.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see where they go. There's a lot of stuff. I want to see where they go before before I open my big ass mouth and complain about it. But
Yeah, no, we can do this again after we watch
Mhm.
the last episode and see. I have really, really high hopes. I am super impressed. And when Anne Rice passed away, I was a devastated little bean. And this was like the tiny ray of sunshine that I was holding on to. Like, please be good because this is all I ever wanted. Even as a
Mhm.
freaking 14-year-old, I knew that Queen of the Damned was trash. Like, and obviously I love it for Aaliyah reasons, but I was like,
Mhm.
please, someone, somewhere, someday has to redeem this because it is a story that I actually had dreams of like going into film and I was like this would be a really sweet like claymation type deal if
Mhm.
they did this, but I'm like because I didn't trust anybody to do it right with real people, but here we
Yeah.
are and I feel like it could go some really 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 great places as long as they respect the pieces that actually matter.
Mhm.
Then they're like super good and clear to take creative license with the rest.
Yeah.
Not
So
that we're the boss, but we are.
Nathan has read a little bit of it, but hasn't read the whole book, and he's not a fangirl. So
Yeah, that's why
what
I've been kind of being quiet because I'm like, I'll let you guys
well,
actually
I
enjoy
mean,
the
was
story.
I was wondering like your reaction to it mostly.
Like I was kind of telling you, like I really liked how they did it. Like once again, I've only really seen the movie and read a bit of the book, so I don't know the story super well. But I liked what Grey Worm, whatever his name is Louis. I don't
Jacob
Yeah.
know his actual name.
Anderson.
Jacob Anderson. There you
Jacob
go.
Anderson.
That's such a
Yeah,
that's
he was
such a
great.
name. It's like a basic name.
This, my name is
Yeah,
Stephanie.
Yeah, I
Everyone's name
know.
is
yeah.
Stephanie.
My name
Just
is
like
Lindsay. I was like one of 5 Lindsays in every class. Sorry, Nate.
yeah, it was like I thought it was really well done. It was really like I actually cared about the characters, which that's like a lot of horror. You don't really get a whole lot of that. That's why a lot of horror TV is just kind of like basic. Like you watch and you laugh and you have fun. Where this one, they actually like got you a bit involved with what the fuck, Louis and his brother and his family,
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and
they
like
really
I
made you
like the
care.
setting too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great, and I don't know. I thought it was really a great reboot, but I mean, obviously a lot
Yeah.
of people don't agree. I don't get fucked up.
No,
Yeah,
they
well,
don't
they're
matter.
trolls. Yeah, they're trolls.
They don't matter. No, because it's
Thank you
not
for
like
sending that though, because we
no,
needed to roast
seriously.
those bitches.
Because I had no idea. Like constructive
Me
criticism,
neither.
great, but like if you
Mm-hmm.
clearly don't know what you're talking about, like
Right. It's like, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
You can argue that maybe they lost something in changing up Louis's character, but I kind of feel like the OG Louis story was like there's a lot of work on like a lot of vagueness. So we knew his wife and child died. We don't know what they died of. I don't think it was a sickness.
Yeah.
And we knew he had this plantation house, but it was like empty because Lestat comes in there and just sets up and pretends to be a little lordlet, which
Yeah, like a bitch.
yeah, but it doesn't make sense either that Lestat would be broke at that point because he's already lived for centuries. You know,
Lestat's never broke.
Lestat's not broke. Like
no, that's one thing he's not is broke. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Them suits. The first thing he sets up is his fucking custom suits. No, he's not broke.
I just don't understand. Like, if you really love like the old movie and that like version of it, go fucking watch that movie.
Right?
Like, why would you want the show to be pretty much that, but a show? It's like,
yeah.
I don't know. That sounds really boring.
And why would you open your mouth if you haven't read the books? I'm sorry, but somebody who read the books would not say that.
To be fair, a lot of people have said they have read the books. I don't know if they're being honest or not.
Oh, really? Okay, I want to read this one because this is somebody who starts out the way we started out. I've been a fan of Anne Rice for decades. I discovered her in the late 80s and was instantly drawn into her world of vampires, witches, and even erotica. When I heard her first novel was being turned into a series, I was ecstatic, but that changed after the first episode. The casting is not good. The wokeness of it is not good. In fact, the only good thing about it is the costumes and settings. I stopped watching after 2 episodes because it stopped being the book I love so much and became a badly written farce. What's woke about it, bitch?
What's woke about it?
Just because there's a black man? Is that it?
What's woke about it? I'm gonna say this very loudly, and this is gonna be the last fucking time that I say it. These are the same fucking bitches that are pissed that the Little Mermaid is black. They're mad because they changed a white character and made it black. That's not canon. Fuck you. That's canon.
But is it not though? For reals though. Besides the fact that Anne Rice made this decision. Okay, so let's put that in our back pocket. But where is it written that like Louis is like porcelain white, except for like once he becomes a vampire? Maybe.
But and even in that case, they all turn white over time.
Yeah,
because
exactly, because they turn into
the melanin
granite.
is just gone.
But Stef, isn't he like considered like? I thought he was like a Creole character. I thought he was kind of mixed. I thought that
I was pretty sure that he was Creole also.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't reread it in a long time, but at the end of the day, here's what you fucking mouth breathers need to understand, and you can come for me if you want to. Anne Rice made the story. She created it. She created the characters. She made Black Louis. So suck on it.
I think that the fact of the matter is that there's nothing woke here. This is just as gay as the book is, and that maybe arguably the books are still gayer. Fight me. Okay.
They're so much gayer. And honestly, when people use the term woke, it's racist language. They're not using it correctly. They're using it as a PC term to be racist. And you really need to check yourself to do that shit, okay? The world is constantly evolving. Stories are gonna change. They literally whitewash characters all the time. They made fucking Goku white. Okay? Are you complaining about that? No? Then don't complain here. That's crazy pants. It's a good story. They made him black, and they artistically changed all of those things to fit into the story. It's not like when I'm gonna do it. It's not like in It Chapter 2 when they changed who Mike Hanlon is fundamentally as a person and made him drug his friends and lie, and then also like, you know, talk shit about Native American culture and do weird shit there. Like, it's not like that. Also, were you complaining about that one, or did you find nothing wrong with it? No, I didn't think so. There's nothing wrong here. Enjoy the story, or if you don't, go away and let us enjoy it.
Louis is my OG literary crush. Like the guy that I actually have had a crush on in a book for the last like decade of my life since I first read the book. I think they did Louis a big justice here because they took all of, like I said, the vagueness of the original story and they added so much life to it and so much detail to it in a way that brought it up a century, which needed to happen for that timeline to work, because otherwise we're looking at having people like especially if they make Daniel and David the same character, which I think that's where they're going with that. David, if we brought him into 2022 or like 2023 or 2024, he's gonna be 150 years old because he was in like the fucking Boer War or some shit in the book. Remember? Like there was like a picture of him with a fucking tiger because he's 100 fucking years old at that point in the fucking early 90s. So like I'm just saying they're updating it. They're updating the timeline. I can see why they did it. But oh god. No,
at the end of the day, the old movie still exists. It's okay for that to be your jam. Just stick with it. And you can just, all right, I don't really like where this is going. That's fine. But in my mind, my gauge is Elle loves Louis. Does Elle approve of Black Louis?
Hell yeah.
Elle loves Black Louis. Okay, great. Like let's move along here. Because you have a lot of great things to say about Louis, but this woke shit, like, please save it for your mama ho. Like, no, thank you.
Miss me on that shit. I just like I really hate that they made it, because I don't think this was a political move for her. I just don't. I don't think it was a political move.
No, I think that they were in discussion about how to modernize this shit as you need to. And you know what? Like, you can blame the people who made the fucking movie, because the people who did Queen of the Damned, again, they sat on the rights to this shit for a long, long time and only pushed out that hunk of junk to like do something.
Yes.
To like,
and you're mad about this, but you're not mad that they couldn't even glue a wig to Stuart Townsend. Come on.
That make him blonde.
Like at least we have, this is the most honest, like the most honest to God stepped out of the book Lestat you're gonna find. Right.
Literally.
This man
with
does
his mouth open.
Job. Yes.
With his mouth open.
Even with his fuck ass mouth open.
The perpetual like wind blowing in his hair, that thick ass French daddy accent, like,
hell yeah.
His fucking attitude and his shitty gaslighting. That's Lestat.
That's Lestat 1000%. Like, bite me, daddy. That is Lestat. Okay? So I can't, if you're an Anne Rice fan, and you can't be an Anne Rice fan and not be okay with these vampires being flaming gay. Like, that's just how they've always been. That's always. The books.
And it's also not a secret. Like, it is in your face.
It also talks, like, honestly, like, the books are very, like, open with what love and romance are in a way that is really, like, priceless and endearing, because it's like you can find companionship like across the empty wastelands of time in all these different places, because the vampires will have their companions, and then after a couple hundred years they'll break up and they'll go find a different companion. And
and like 1000% 14-year-old me should not have been reading this shit, but it was like, I came from a home that was, that's all I'm gonna say. So like, this message of like love, that's the message I needed. Not like Romeo and Juliet, when like, if your 16-year-old boyfriend, like, you can't be with him, you kill yourself or whatever. That's not what I'm looking for. I just feel like this message, it's so profound, and it's one that can really stand the test of time as long as you keep it up to speed with what's happening in the world now. And if that's woke, I guess.
I just like, I am going to fist fight all these fucking reviewers with their you're not a real fan, you woke moralist. Fuck you. Go suck fucking Jordan Peterson's dick and just shut the fuck up. Like, Christ's sake.
Anne Rice would not approve.
No.
She would not approve of that.
And I don't even give a shit if she would at this point. I'm just like so sick and tired of this crap. Like, you can't do anything without all these people getting their fucking dicks in a bunch over it. Just go do
Not
something
dicks
else.
in a bunch.
Yes. They get their dicks caught in something. I don't know.
Huh? It's like a bad time to have a dick.
It is. It's a bad time to have I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
She was going somewhere.
I was going somewhere, and then I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. It was like that episode, that fucking clip that of Jay and I, where he was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna say what I was about to say.
And that's rare on this podcast because we be saying crazy shit.
Yep, and I be pulling everyone down into the gutter with me.
So. I love it here in the gutter.
I just I never thought
final thoughts.
Yeah. My final thought is I never thought we would be here in the year of our Lord 2022 talking about Anne Rice being woke. I just didn't.
You mean our Lord Nick Cage?
No, fucking Daddy Reeves and fuck Nick Cage.
I forgot.
Nick Cage is out. Yes,
okay.
Nick Cage is out.
Keanu. Good old Daddy Reeves. My final thought is that I don't care what people on the internet say. I've seen this one single episode 3 times now already.
Mm-hmm.
When it's out on DVD, I will be a proud owner, or Blu-ray, whatever. I'm a grandma. Whatever is the best laser disc to play your films on, I will own it. And I will it'll be there on the shelf with all my Anne Rice books. Take it or leave it. I will take it.
Once again, I have nowhere near the context that you guys have with, like, actually having read it and like the book and like being a huge fan of the franchise in general. But just as someone who likes horror and like, it's a cool show. It was a lot, but I liked it better than the movie, to be totally honest with you. At least the first episode so far. Like, I will say that I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't know.
Tom Cruise
I like
is
Brad
a
Pitt,
shitty
but
yeah. That's it. Like, Brad Pitt's Louis, could that come back at some point? Yeah. It's not that, but that's not what this is. This is different. They took a different choice. They brought it up 100 years at least. Like, like it was a choice that they made based on, I think, when you bring a film or like a book to film, you have to a lot of times squish some of the characters together, and especially like this book series has like such a massive universe of characters, and they're gonna have to squish some of them together, and they did a shit ass job in previous movies. And they did not get the richness or the depth of the storytelling. What they were able to do here really did episode. Yeah, in one episode they did so many more things. There were so many like Easter eggs that I caught in the other 2 movies that has been released from her books. I loved it.
I just can't wait to see when Claudia steps in. I cannot wait to see what that looks like. Honestly.
Same.
But I can wait until all the episodes are out.
Yeah. I'm gonna get AMC Plus once we get more episodes out, because I gotta get Peacock next for movies that are coming out, and wrestling. I gotta watch wrestling.
Why about wrestling?
And wrestling.
It's totally about movies, and not that I want to watch more Attitude Era WWE. That's it.
Hey, I'm not gonna tell. Even
and
though you
zombies versus pro wrestlers.
That's true. Zombies versus pro wrestlers on a future podcast. You will hear us talk about Zombies versus pro wrestlers, which is an amazing movie. I swear.
I forgot about that. I forgot that existed.
How could you?
Oh, it's easy. I have ADHD.
It might be the cure. I swear I didn't fall asleep multiple times watching, even as a fucking pro wrestling fan.
Jesus Christ, yeah. It's slow.
You can find us on the internet at ghostinthemagazine.site. You can find us on Twitter at GITM Podcast.
Oh, and you can find me on Twitter at WitchXPudding.
You can find me at Nocturnical. And you can find Nathan at BadBinPimp69.
Okay, bye.